Donovan McNabb, Syracuse University.
Correll Buckhout, Nebraska.
Tony Hunt, Penn State.
Reggie Brown, Georgia.
Deshaun Jackson, Long Beach Poly.
Brent Selleck, Cincinnati.
Trey Thomas, Florida State.
Todd Harriman, Saginaw Valley.
Jamal Jackson, Delaware State.
Max Gene Gillis, Georgia.
John Runyon, Michigan.
Max Gene Gillis taking the spot of Andrews. Selleck taking the spot of L.J. Smith, and Correll Buckhalter taking the spot of Brian Westbrook. We'll also see some of Lorenzo Booker, who they picked up in a draft day trade with the Miami Dolphins. So here we go from the 20. Donovan McNabb, who went to Mount Carmel High School, about a 25-minute ride from Soldier Field. Will start on first down with a pass to the right side that's off the fingertips of the tight end, Brent Selleck. The one thing about McNabb, John, is that through the past few seasons, he's been injured. He's been injured in mid-year. They've had to go, of course, with A.J. Feely at times, with Jeff Garcia at times, but he might be as healthy now as he's been in about 4 years.
Yeah, and, you know, he has that thing that Andy Reid talks about, experience and health. And if his maturity and his experience and the health can all stay there in that same place, he can have a great year. That's with the chest contusion sustained last week notwithstanding, and he airs this one out, and it's incomplete, intended for his rookie wideout Deshaun Jackson, covered by Vasher. And we take a look at the Chicago starters.
Adewale Ogunleye, Indiana.
Israel Idonije, Manitoba.
Dusty Dvorak, Oklahoma. Alex Brown, University of Florida.
Hunter Hillenmeyer, Vanderbilt.
Brian Urlacher, University of New Mexico.
Lance Briggs, Desert Swarm, Arizona.
Charles Tillman, the University of Louisiana.
Mike Brown, Nebraska.
Kevin Payne, Louisiana Monroe.
Nate Vasher, Texas.
Adonije starting at the tackle spot, normally occupied by Harris, though he does rotate in a lot, so he has a lot of experience. Third down and 10. The Bears blitz, and they get to McNabb. From the outside came Danielle Manning from the corner. He's the first guy in, and McNabb goes down on a blitz on 3rd and long.
You know, and that's what the Bears were talking about, that they have to, one, they have to get to McNabb, but when you get to him, you have to get him to the ground. And the way you get him to the ground is get a guy there like a free rusher on the blitz, and then someone else right there.
Let's take a look at the Chicago offense.
Kyle Orton, Purdue.
Matt Forte, Tulane University.
Jason McKee, Temple.
Brandon Lloyd, Illinois.
Rasheed Davis, West Los Angeles College.
Dez Clark, Kathleen High School.
John St. Clair, Virginia. Josh Beekman, Boston College. Olin Cruz, Washington.
Roberto Garza, Texas A&M Kingsville.
John Tate, Brigham Young.
They set up with Davis and Brandon Lloyd both to the right side, and now that is Davis going in motion on first down, and Kyle Orton finds the wide open Davis over the middle for a big gain on the first play, and he is down. They whistle him down, no fumble at the 25-yard line. So they send him in motion. Sheldon Brown with the coverage, and 34 yards on the Bears' first play from scrimmage, and they'll go with a no-huddle offense here.
The Bears think that by going no huddle, they can slow down the blitz of the Eagles, but I think the Eagles can still get their blitzing in if that's what they want to do.
Now they go 2 tight ends here on first down. Orton to the air again, buys time to the outside, sets up the screen, winds up hitting Matt Forte, their good-looking rookie out of Tulane, and he gets the ball down to the 18-yard line. That's a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Let's go back to the pass to Davis.
Well, you know, it started with 2 backs in the backfield, and they ran a play-action pass, and that kind of held the linebackers and the Eagles close to the line of scrimmage. You see the 2 backs here in the I formation, and they go play-action pass. You see how that holds the linebackers, and then Rasheed Davis can just get up and get open.
Now back on 2nd down and 4, going for the end zone, and the pass is caught for a touchdown by Greg Olsen. Olsen covered by the linebacker Chris Gokong, and what a start. 1 minute and 55 seconds into the game.
Let's see if he's in there. One. I don't know that he's in, Al.
And of course Andy Reid can throw the flag. He has possession of it. The right foot clearly.
And the Eagles look like they were back in their heels early.
Now they'll pitch it back to Buckhalter. on 1st and 15. That's Mike Brown, the safety, coming up to make the stop. You got to give Buckhalter a tremendous amount of credit for just sticking with it. Here's a guy who has had 3 season-ending surgeries in his career, all of them resulting in major knee surgery. He's in his 8th year out of Nebraska, picked in the 4th round in 01, keeps rehabbing, keeps coming back, and tonight, of course, he's going to be a very key guy in the absence of Westbrook.
Right, and that usually doesn't happen in that position of tailback. You know, sometimes, you know, an offensive guard will have that, but tailbacks, it's tough after 3 knee surgery.
He stuck with it, and the Eagles stuck with him.
He's a very good downhill runner.
2nd and 13. McNabb slips his back foot slip, but he regains his balance and then fires a strike to the rookie Jackson for a 1st down. Deshaun Jackson, who's broken in with a splash, picked in the 2nd round out of the University of California, and a great run back guy as well.
You know, this is what you think of Donovan McNabb, a strong guy. I mean, he steps up and he just brings that thing down and fires it. I mean, he starts to let it go there, brings it back, reloads it, and boom, he puts it right on Deshaun Jackson.
Gain of 23. Kevin Curtis, who would normally be a starter, a wide receiver, sports hernia surgery, he hasn't played this year. Reggie Brown played a little bit last week, figures to play a little bit more, but they've gone to their bench, and the receivers have done a nice job thus far in the 3 games. Buckhalter on a screen pass, and that is Briggs, who busts up the wedge and knocks him down at midfield, and oohing and awing from 60,000 at Soldier Field.
I'll tell you, 60,000 at Soldier Field know how to enjoy their defense, and they really do. I mean, they cheer as much for a defensive play like this as they do any offensive play. I mean, you talk about a guy bringing it, Lance Briggs brought it.
He's done that a time or 2. 2nd and 5.
Bobby Smith said he's playing the best of their defense this year.
McNabb out of the shotgun. Blitz. And it's Brown, and Reggie Brown will have a 1st down. Brown missing the first 2 games with a hamstring sustained during training camp, and now working his way back. And Reggie Brown, of course, would be on the depth chart their #1 receiver when healthy.
But I tell you, when you talk to Andy Reid, he talks about Deshaun Jackson. He said he's his explosive guy. You know, he has a list of explosive plays, and they're all to Deshaun Jackson.
1st and 10 at the 43 of Chicago. And now they're going to give it to the aforementioned one, and Jackson will have a 1st down. He's inside the 30, and that's one of those plays that Andy Reid has for Jackson.
You know, in fact, that's the 2nd explosive play. He's run to Jackson already. Remember the up here in the left, and this is the reverse of the end around. They fake the ball one side. They get the flow going to that side, and that's one thing about this Bear defense is they really flow fast. They flow quick. You see them all go. They all get bunched in right here, and Deshaun Jackson just gets around the end. That's one thing you can do to quick flowing linebackers is give them flow one way and come back against the grain.
And he flowed for 21 yards on the play. 9:45 to go in the opening quarter. McNabb, plenty of time over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. That's Schobel, the tight end, and he was hit by Mike Brown. Brown, who's been oft injured over the past several seasons, when he's in the lineup, he has been a difference maker, and he's been a difference maker because of plays like that.
Yeah, and he threw that into cover 2. The Bears don't use cover 2 a lot anymore, but they're in it this time. Urlacher has the deep middle. You'll see the cover 2 safeties. There's one of them there, Mike Brown, right on that post. That's tough to throw in there. I mean, you really have to thread the needle on that one against the cover 2 safeties.
Schobel can't hang on. It's 2nd down and 10. Play clock down to 1. And there's no room over left guard as Marcus Harrison, a rookie tackle out of Arkansas, 3rd round pick, makes the stop on Buckhalter.
You know, with Tommy Harris out, that's a guy that they're really counting on a lot, is Marcus Harrison to take up some of that slack. And, you know, he's not a Tommy Harris. I mean, to me, when Tommy Harris is healthy, he's the best or one of the best defensive tackles in football. But But this rookie Harrison has done a very good job, not just plugging the line, but getting penetration and making things happen quickly on the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 10. 4-man rush. Good protection to the end zone. He goes touchdown. Jackson. 3 big plays for the rookie on the opening or second drive for Philadelphia.
Great player, and he's a great guy, too. He really is.
Top to bottom. Off the field, on the field. Gain of 1 here. Matt Forte, a rookie out of Tulane. And when you speak of, Sayers and, of course, Walter Payton, obviously that's the creme de la creme. Matt Forte off to a great start in his career. 3 quick plays on that first drive. 2nd and 14. And they give the ball to Forte, and he'll find some room through the middle, and he almost picks up a first down. A gain of 13, about a yard shy. They'll spot it up at the 43-yard line.
I talked to Matt Forte about this play the other day, and he said, one thing, when you get them blitzing and you get all those guys up in the line of scrimmage and you have 7 guys there, and then if you can break that first line, you're quickly onto their defensive backs. And that's exactly what happens here. He knows once he gets through, because it's a blitz, now he's right on their safety. So he's going to pick up 4 or 5 or 6 yards.
3rd and a short 2 after a gain of 12, and they flip it to him, and he picks up the first down as he gets by Dawkins and then gets taken back by Cole, but not until he had picked up the first down.
Now that's what I like about the Bears. I mean, they get a penalty, they get an extreme long yardage, but they stay with their running game. This is what they are. They fake to the right, then they throw like an option play out there to Matt Forte, trying to get him on the perimeter. We just saw what he could do on the inside. Now they try and get him outside. But the play before that, that inside run against the blitz, was a perfect run.
Parker jumps back onside. Orton, very clean pocket, and then rifles one incomplete, intended for the tight end Desmond Clark. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Let's take a look at the Eagle D.
Quay Parker, Oklahoma State.
Mike Patterson, Southern California.
Bradley Bunkley, Florida State University.
Trent Cole, Cincinnati.
Chris Gokong, Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo.
Stu Bradley, Nebraska.
Omar Gaither, Tennessee.
Sante Samuel, UCF Knights.
Brian Dawkins, Clemson. Quentin Michael, Boise State University.
Sheldon Brown, South Carolina.
Of course, Asante Samuel, the big pickup in the free agency period, coming over from the Patriots. And there's a quick pass to Devin Hester, who gets across the 50 and is taken down at the 49. Of course, over the first 2 seasons, Hester, the great run back man, 12 kicks returned for touchdowns, and now they're working him more and more into their regular offense.
Yeah, and they want to get him these kind of things. Get him the ball, get the ball in his hands quickly, and let him make plays with it. But the defense knows that too. I mean, they see Hester, and they're all pointing to him. Watch the screen, watch the quick pass, watch the reverse, all the type of plays that Hester has. I think they have to get him out of that and something up in midfield range.
He's a magnet, and down the left side, intended for Forte. Down the sideline he went, got around Gaither, and the pass just a little beyond. Sure enough, there's your kibosh.
You knew the minute you said that it was going to happen right off the bat in the first quarter.
Absolutely. 1st and 15 from the 15-yard line. McNabb throws, and that pass is caught by Jackson, and that's another first down. So Jackson has already been responsible for 4 first downs in less than 10 minutes. 16
he's a
yards.
heck of a player, and he's a good kid. And he's the first thing, we talked to Donovan McNabb last night, the first thing he said, I'm going to tell you about Deshaun Jackson. He said, this kid came in, never acted like a rookie, has been a pro from day one. At the University of California, he worked, before he came to the Eagles, he worked with Jerry Rice. So he came in with a pretty good knowledge of this West Coast offense.
McNabb buys time off the play fake and then throws underneath, and the pass is dropped. That's Carell Buckwalter, incomplete. McNabb last week, 3 Steelers fell on top of him in the early part of the game. He remained in through the half. Then Kevin Cobb came out to start the second half. It was a chest contusion. It tightened up. He didn't practice until midweek, but he told us last night that he thinks he's back to almost 100%.
Right, he just wanted to get it back to a point that he could play through it, and he felt that it was in that point. And I'll tell you, for a guy who didn't practice much this week, he's sure sharp at the beginning of this game.
Right, it was Friday until he actually got out onto the field, actually late in the week. And there's nothing cooking on the right side here for Correll Buckhalter, who gets taken down to the 30-yard line, and it will be 3rd down and 10.
But he's so impressive this year because he's using his legs more, to get his feet in position to throw and using less arm. And he was saying last night that now that he has this chest injury and the tightness, it's really tough for him to throw left. And so he has to open up his hips and move his feet to do it. And he's been working all year in the offseason on his footwork, and that is a totally complete guy now.
Andy Reid in his 10th year, Donovan McNabb in his 10th year. They won 75 games together. On 3rd and 11, McNabb gets spun down and sacked for the 2nd time at the 20-yard line. Alex Brown is the first guy to spin him around, and then Israel Adonijah is there to finish him off.
Alex Brown is a right defensive end. You're going to see him right here. He's going to beat Trey Thomas. He just goes right around him, grabs McNabb, slows him up enough so Adonijah can.
Kyle Orton, Sunday Night Football. Remember, Rex Grossman got hurt as when Orton was a rookie and handed the ball off for most of the 05 season. Did a pretty good job, as they say, managed the game. And Grossman took over in 06, led him to the Super Bowl. And then this year in training camp, Orton beat out Grossman for the starting job, and he did a nice job on opening night against Indianapolis. Now 1st and 10 as he begins this drive with a pass. It's good for about 6 yards. Hitting Olsen, the tight end, and Olsen wants a penalty, and there is a flag that is thrown at the 49-yard.
He just got his hands on Olsen's face mask.
Remember, they got rid of the 5-yarder this year, so the face mask call, they're all 15 yards. That was the type. He put it on, got it off just a little too late, but last year it probably would have been a 5-yard penalty.
You just saw Stuart Bradley, and you see him up there in the A-gap. They put both linebackers in the gaps between the centers and guards. You see them, and then you either have to count for them or not count. If you don't count and they come, you're in trouble. If you do count and they don't come, you're in trouble.
Nobody accounted for Gaither on that play, the outside linebacker, who's moved from the middle to outside with Bradley inside. Philadelphia, meanwhile, through 3 games, #1 in terms of rushing yards per game allowed, 45.7, and yards per rush, 2.4. Of course, the defense played very well against St. Louis, extremely well against Pittsburgh, and gave up 5 touchdowns, mainly through the air, against the Dallas Cowboys.
Just showing that Lito Shepard comes in there for Sheldon Brown anytime that Devin Hester's in the game.
Hester was in the slot. The pass is too high as Hester cut across the middle, and it's incomplete. So Devin Hester had lined up in the slot and then ran across the middle of the field to the outside, and the pass.
The Eagles and Jim Johnson, these are the downs you get the exotic blitzes on.
You don't know who's coming or from where or how many.
And that's what the Bears are trying to get ready for. They have 2 blockers on this side, over on their right side.
3rd and 11. Hester was wide to the right. Orton's under pressure, and Orton's going to go down, so you knew they were coming. Jaquay Parker is the first guy to get.
Andy Reid called me in and assured me that I was going to be with the Eagles. I was going to be with the Eagles, and I wasn't going to be traded. And that's the kind of guy Andy Reid is, and that's a coaching plus right there.
And so McNabb, who finished last year strong, knew he'd be with him as he hands the ball off to Buckhalter. A gain of 2. And with McNabb, I mean, through the years, there's been a lot of frustration in Philadelphia. Clearly a lot of success. Getting to 4 NFC championship games, going to a Super Bowl, but not winning the Lombardi Trophy. Then Donovan getting hurt. And then Garcia came in one year and did a great job. And people said, well, what about next year? Will Garcia have the job? And even A.J. Feely from time to time. So Donovan's had to withstand, will he be or will he not be a Philadelphia Eagle? And there is his mom, who went to the hotel last night and cooked dinner for the whole team.
And I was partaking in that.
2nd and 8. You were the food taster. The pass is incomplete, intended for Reggie Brown.
She came over and put on a heck of a meal for the team, and when I heard about it, Al, to be honest with you, I just couldn't pass it up.
But she didn't make any soup, I heard, huh?
No, there was everything else, though. I mean, it was a great meal, and her family was there, and and friends, and she's really the perfect pro football mom. I mean, her life is all about the Eagles and her son Donovan McNabb.
3rd and 8. Crowd rises as one at Soldier Field. Big blitz. McNabb throws off his back foot, and the pass is incomplete right in front of Andy Reid, intended for Deshaun. Actually brought out to China as well, right?
You know what they had? Here's a menu. Oh, I'll get some.
From the 45-yard line. Matt Forte picks up 2. Any leftovers?
I don't think so. I mean, I was one of the last to leave, and there was very few. I would have gone back one more time, but I didn't do it. I'll tell you how loaded my plate was. I had so much in my plate that one of the guys who was serving said, "Would you move your thumb, please?" I had to take my thumb off my plate so they could put the rest of it on.
There was enough left for the rest of the guys.
Oh yeah, no, everyone had plenty.
And meanwhile, Orton will get sacked again. Chris Gokong coming in from the outside out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo to get the sack on Michaels, John Madden, Andrea Kramer. 7-7 as we start the second quarter on the 3rd down and 15 out of the shotgun for Orton and the Bears. Flushed out again. Shades to the sideline. Throws on the run, and the gain is a incomplete pass. No gain. Greg Olson was out of bounds. Jaquay Parker did the chasing, and back to the prior sack.
You know, here's Gokong here. He's the outside guy. Now, this is attacking a protection. You see the protection was sliding to the left. Now, Matt Forte had to come to the right, so he had to take the first guy. He did take the first guy, but the extra rusher was the outside guy, Chris Gokong. That's what Jim Johnson does so well, attacks your protection.
Maynard's punt. This is Deshaun Jackson muffing the punt, and the Chicago Bears surround it and recover. Jackson off to a tremendous start tonight with 3 big plays, and then another one on the second drive, and all of a sudden muffs the punt here, turns it over.
And it looked like he started to slip just as he was catching it, and the ball got in. It looked like it hit his shoulder pad. Oh no, it was right in his arms. He caught it perfectly. I mean, everything was perfect. He just slid, and the ball was right where it should be.
And Nick Roach gets the gift recovery. Now the Bears try to cash in. Short field, 24-yard line. Forte, 2 through the middle. 2nd down and 8. Broderick Bunkley, 97, makes the stop.
You know, the Bears have good mixture here on offense. I think anytime you want to run the ball, you don't have to run it every first down. So you have to have a good mixture of run and pass on first down, and I think they've done that so far.
Second and 9. Running at the middle linebacker, it's the Mike. Pressure again, in the pocket he stays, and the pass is caught for a touchdown by Marty Booker. Marty Booker got inside position that time on the safety Quentin Michael, and that's a 23-yard touchdown following the turnover.
You know, and that's when it all starts with protection. Lots of pass protection of the Bears. The Eagles come on a blitz. They pick it up perfectly. Kyle Orton stands in the pocket tall, and he hits Booker on a post. Booker makes a nice move there. It's a corner. He fakes like he's going to the corner and comes back into the post. Kyle Orton again standing tall in the pocket with great pass protection and a heck of a throw to pass it. We have to get to Donovan McNabb, and without Brian Westbrook, I will say that's a little easier for him.
33-yard line. Play fake, pass a little bit low, and the pass is incomplete. That's Mike Brown who came in on the safety blitz pass intended for Reggie Brown. It'll be second down.
And you're going to see Mike Brown hits Donovan McNabb just as he throws the ball. I formation, a little play action pass to the right. Mike Brown comes from the left. And he is completely free. I mean, that again is a blitz that attacks a protection. Both backs go one way. You bring your blitz from the back side of it.
And again, McNabb playing with what was a chest contusion last week. Taking a shot to the upper body. Second down and 10. Off the fake again. Clean pocket. Goes deep down the left sideline, and this time goes right back to Reggie Brown and connects for a first down, a yard shy of the 50. Tillman that time blitzed, and the pass gotten off in time in a 16-yard gain.
And for the Eagles, it's going to be all about pass protection because, you know, if they're going to win, if they're going to move the ball, Donovan McNabb has to do it with the passing game, and he has to have the protection. And what he's doing is if the Bears play cover 2, it looks like he's trying to hit that post through the middle. If they play a single safety, cover 1 or 3, then he's going to the out pattern.
First and 10. Right now they're in a cover 2. The ball is at the 49-yard line. McNabb looking downfield. Deep downfield, and again he goes to Brown. So Reggie Brown, who missed a lot of camp in the first 2 games with a hamstring pull and played sparingly last week, they've gotten him 3 straight times. 31-yard gain here.
You know, it's interesting how you're going to see a post here and a post here, a double post on that cover 2. You read cover 2, Donovan McNabb read cover 2, and he's going to read that safety. He looks over there. If the safety goes with the inside guy, he's going to go to the outside guy, just like he did there. If the safety goes with the outside guy, then he would have hit the inside post.
Brown comes out of the game. First and 10. The ball is at the 20-yard line. Greg Lewis, 83, takes his spot. And a little floating screen for Buckhalter. Inside the 10. And Carell Buckhalter will be stopped inside the 1-yard line. Tough running. Kevin Payne makes the tackle. It's a gain of 19 and a first and goal upcoming.
That's what you do. I mean, you throw a deep out, then you throw a post, and then you just throw a screen. And the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, that was a funny-looking screen, but this team, I think, is probably the best screen pass team in the NFL. Usually that guy catching it, though, over the years has been Brian Westbrook.
Absolutely. There's Klecko in the game, plays defensive tackle and also fullback, and they come up in a power I. Buckhalter is the running back. Carell gets it, and he will knife his way in for a touchdown. His second in 2 weeks. In the early years, and played for the Bears at the beginning of his career in 1934. Kevin Jones will now be the running back on this series, as Orton's going to roll out and just dump it off into the bench. Second down.
I think there's a couple things the Bears ought to throw out. One is that bootleg, because it seems like every time Orton rolls out to his right, he has to throw the ball out of bounds. And the other thing on defense is cover 2. I mean, every time they get in it, it looks like Donovan McNabb knows it. In fact, the last time they were in it, you called it. They were in cover 2, and he runs a double post and hits him. So I think those are 2 things that they could eliminate is Orton on a bootleg and cover 2 on defense.
Single safety high that time, and that pass is caught out in the flat by Greg Olson up to the 26-yard line, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 5 for Chicago.
You're going to see over here on this side. Here's the big pass rusher for the Eagles is Trent Cole. He's on John St. Clair over there on the left side. That's going to be a pretty good matchup all night, and the Bears want to give St. Clair a little help because they think that, you know, that Trent Cole can win a lot of these battles.
He still hasn't looked for Brandon Lloyd, who's become one of his favorite targets. And, of course, the second you say it, he hits Lloyd. So Lloyd has been emerging. Of course, he's been around with San Francisco and Washington and never quite lived up to his billing. But in the past couple of weeks, they've had a lot of things going back and forth between he and Orton, and they'll go without a huddle here after they pick up the first down.
Well, Orton said he loves the way that he jumps. He said that, you know, he thought he was a much taller guy, Brandon Lloyd, but he was a 7'2" high jumper in high school.
That'll make you taller. Here's Jones, the ex-Lion, who picks up a couple up to the 37-yard line.
That's what Orton says. I just have to learn to trust him, that I know that if I put it up there, he's going to out-jump the guy. So if they need a big play, I think that's one of the areas that they'll go to is Brandon Lloyd on a jump ball. Not this far out, though.
Going no huddle, trying to keep the same Philly personnel on the field. Second down and 7. Hester splits wide to the right. It's Jones again. Big cutback lane. And a rolling first down. A rolling, spinning, diving first down. Gain of 18 yards for the ex-Lion.
That's a heck of a move by Kevin Jones. He starts to the left, and then he just gets right behind Roberto Garza on the right side.
47-yard line. Try to get it for you in a second. Of course, when you start running that no huddle, it cuts down on the replays.
Right, and this is all about controlling the Eagle blitz.
Jones again to the outside, taking down a loss of 2. Chris Gokong is Chicago. Second and 12 after the Chicago timeout. The ball is at the 49-yard line. Forte is the running back, and here is the rookie out of Tulane, and he'll go nowhere as he's bottled up as he crosses the line of scrimmage by the 4th-year tackle out of USC, Mike Patterson, their #1 pick in 05.
We just saw the shot there of Donovan McNabb, and he was saying last night that the toughest thing for him to do is going to be to stay loose. You know, you can get loose, you can get warmed up, but this part where you just have to stand there and wait, that chest tends to tighten up.
3rd and 12. Here comes the blitz. Orton feels it, but then as he throws it, it is picked off by Darren Howard. Orton was able to move to his left, and Jaquay Parker is the guy who made contact with Orton as he released the ball and sets up the interception for the Thomas. Trey Thomas went to William Thomas. He went back to Trey Thomas. It's a good thing Chad Johnson doesn't play on this team. We'd never keep track. 41-yard line, first down, and that pass is caught by Reggie Brown, and he gets tackled by Urlacher immediately. Gain of 4 yards to the 37-yard line.
Hit immediately by Urlacher.
You know, one of the things, watch Brian Urlacher here. He starts out in the gap. Now he has that flat. So that's the problem there. You're going to be a half a step late if you're going to be up in the gap, faking that blitz, and then still have to get to a receiver in the flat.
2nd and 6. McNabb, 3-step drop to the outside he goes, caught by Lewis. Tillman will take him out of bounds, and that'll make it 3rd down and about 1.5 yards upcoming for the Eagles.
Yeah, that's what the Eagles' plan is. Anytime they see that a single safety, then they're going to go to the outside receivers running out pattern. Anytime they see the cover 2 safeties, then they want to go to the insides or posts.
Hank Basket is sent wide to the left. Matt Schobel as well. Buckhalter is offset over right guard and can't get it. Donovan McNabb says yes, but that's not even close.
Nope, that's that old dive. Andy Reid was so proud of it a couple of years ago. He put it in, and years of
free agent acquisitions came over from New England. 1st and 10 now, 40-yard line. And Forte can barely get out of the backfield. It was Omar Gaither, the linebacker right there, got him by the ankles. It'll be 2nd down. You know, we're talking about Samuel, John. We got, you know, remember they have Lito Shepard and Sheldon Brown have been the corners for years, supplanting Vincent, who'd been there for Troy Vincent for a lot of years, and Bobby Taylor. And then they add this guy, and I mean, as a threesome, hard to beat those corners.
No, and they're playing Lito Shepard quite a bit tonight. As I said earlier, anytime Devin Hester is in there, Lito Shepard as a 3rd corner is in there.
There's Forte on a screen, and he bangs and bowling balls his way up to the 45-yard line.
You know, this is the thing. I was talking to Matt Forte the other day. He said that he just wanted to be a complete running back. He wanted to be able to run. He wanted to be able to block. He wanted to be able to run patterns. He wanted to be able to run screens. He wanted to be everything. He wanted to do everything that a running back can do. He didn't want to be dimensional. You're one-dimensional where he just runs or he's just a third down back. He wanted to be an every down back and do every part of that well.
I was going to say pinball, but he looks more like a bowling ball when he gets going. 3rd and 5, bouncing off defenders, and the pass is caught down the right sideline by Brandon Lloyd. On a 3rd down and 5, he goes to Lloyd for the 2nd time in the game, and they'll spot the ball at the 31-yard line. 24-yard reception.
Yeah, and that was against the cover, too. You're going to see they put him in motion, and then Samuel's going to come up, and he's going to bump him, then he's going to let him go. The safety, Quentin Michael, doesn't get over there. Kyle Orton throws a perfect pass between the corner and the safety.
Lee will get Andrea to check it out. And they're telling us it is the left knee, and his return is questionable. Now on 1st down, it's out to the fullback. It's to Jason McKee, who gets tackled by Chris Gokon, who went to
Cal Poly. Yep, Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo.
Got to get your alma mater in there.
Not a lot of Mustangs out there, but Chris Gokon, one of the good ones.
Starter.
Well, Jim Johnson says that, you know, he'd like a little more out of him. I think he was a great pass rusher in college. And I think when he came into the pros, I thought maybe on 3rd down he'd be a down lineman pass rusher, but he stays as a linebacker and hasn't become as good a pass rusher from the linebacker position as Jim Johnson would like.
2nd down and 9. It's caught at the 26-yard line by Hester, but he can only go backwards because Asante Samuel is magnetized to him. It is range.
And I'll tell you what Jim Johnson thinks right here, that if they are in field goal range, he is going to bring a blitz to knock them out of field goal range. That will be his goal on this play.
Here comes the blitz, and they set up the screen, and it's Forte, and he's going to be close to a 1st down. You see line judge coming in and spotting the ball right on the yellow line. Walt Coleman will take a look, and
yeah, this is where Kyle Orton is the best. Not on this play here. I mean, the 3rd down, they're expecting a blitz. This is a blitz buster right here, the screen. Forte makes a great end of the run to get that 1st down. Well, I said that Kyle Orton, the closer you get to the goal line, from the 20-yard line in, is his best. Because from this position right here, he can make all the throws.
And the numbers in his brief career would support that very much. Almost all of his touchdown passes have come from inside the red zone, and that pass is knocked down at the line of scrimmage and is incomplete. Jackson and McNabb looking on from the bench. 4-man front for Philadelphia, showing blitz. Little toss back to Forte behind the key, and he'll take the ball to the 20-yard line, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 9.
You know, what's impressive about this Eagle defense, you always talk about, you know, how they blitz and they do that, but their speed. They're all fast and they're all good tacklers. You see who made that tackle there? It was Trent Cole. He comes from the backside. He's a right defensive end. He comes all the way across the formation and makes the tackle on the other side of the field.
Great player, a little bit underappreciated. 4th year out of Cincinnati. 3rd and 9. Orton going for the end zone. It's Hester. Is he inbounds? Yes. Touchdown. Hester beats Asante Samuel and just does stay inbounds for the touchdown on a 3rd and 9.
That is a heck of a throw. Here's Hester and Samuel outside. Hester just takes a little outside release, and Kyle Orton makes a perfect pass. He throws it where only Hester can catch it. It can't be tipped before he gets here. But again, it all starts off with pass protection. Good pass protection. Good.
2 timeouts for Philadelphia. From the 23, 1st down, out of the gun. 4-man rush. Pass over the middle. It's caught by Jason Avant, his first catch of the night, to the 28-yard line. That's a gain of 5, and Bears will give him all they want, a little 5-yard dink and dunks over the middle.
And Donovan McNabb just kind of has to get warmed up again here.
2nd and 5. That pass is dropped right there. Would have been a first down. Reggie Brown setting up now a 3rd down and 5 with 47 ticks left.
McNabb wants to huddle up now, knowing that he needs a good play here to get a first down.
McNabb, pressure up the middle, gets it away, pass caught, but shy of the first down. Now Chicago should take a timeout to at least give Hester a chance to run a kickback, and they do. So 37 seconds, Chicago takes its last timeout, and at least Hester, unless they kick the ball out of bounds, will have another opportunity to touch the foot.
Catch for a touchdown. Those were great hands by Devin Hester. That was a great catch.
Hester wide right. Davis and Booker wide left. Lloyd is still back in the locker room. Orton out of the gun. Throw it over the middle. It's juggled. Remember, they don't have a timeout. Forte up to the 46-yard line. Orton wants him to get up there so he can spike the ball, stop the clock as soon as they get set, and he does. 15 seconds. So it's tough to work the middle of the field at this point to try to get Gold into field goal position since they can't stop the clock. He almost is compelled to work the sidelines.
And you'd have to throw something to the sidelines, but it can't, obviously it can't be short. I mean, it has to be something around 20, 25 yards to the sideline.
Yeah, but a 20-yard gain would at least give Gold a shot at it. Ball at the 46-yard line, 3rd down and 3. Orton's going to step up, sling it to the outside, and have it knocked away at the line of scrimmage. Omar Gaither came in on the blitz. So with 11 seconds remaining right now, it is 4th down. And Chicago will have to send Maynard out there.
Finish.
And that was a good first half performance by Orton with 3 touchdown passes. Already a career high in the first 30 minutes of action. They put Forte in the slot to the left, and they come out passing here in the second half. Intended for Hester, broken up there by Samuel. 2nd down. Let's look at Kyle, John.
Well, he had a great first half. We talk about the red zone from the 20-yard line. Look at these 3 throws here. First to Greg Olson. Then he comes back here and he makes a perfect strike there to Marty Booker. And then the last one to Devin Hester. But like I said, the closer he gets to the goal line, the better he is because he has all the throws. And he showed it tonight.
7 different receivers. Here's Matt Forte moving ahead for about a yard up to the 29-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down. The Bears with a mixture of conventional huddling and offense in the first half, and from time to time going no huddle with effectiveness.
I think, you know, the whole thing is to control that Eagle blitz, and I think they've done a pretty good job of it. I mean, they've mixed it up enough that the Eagles aren't having their way with it.
3rd and 8, and that pass is incomplete. That's Marty Booker, who caught a touchdown pass in the first half, unable to hang on. And of course, with the Cubs going to postseason, the White Sox may be going to postseason. That's to be determined. From the 4-yard line, McNabb throws to the outside. That's caught by Brown, and he gets taken down there by Nathan Vasher, the right cornerback. Gain of 8, 2nd down and 2. Yeah, I mean, in Chicago, of course, you know, with the Cubs right now, I mean, everybody knows it's been 100 years and the whole thing. But, you know, there's an anticipation with the way the Cubs have played this year that may be greater than anything we've seen in a long time.
And you know, and they stick with their teams here. I mean, even when they're bad, I remember all those years that the Bears were bad. You would come here and the fans were always excited about it.
Now Buckhalter's going to break one on a 2nd and 2, and Buckhalter playing for the injured Brian Westbrook behind a Max Gene Gillis block, swinging to the outside, romps for 24 and a first down.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, you know, if the Eagles are going to have any success offensively, they're going to have to get some running game going. Gene Gillis right there gets a good block on Brian Urlacher, and that's a block that springs Buckhalter. But, you know, they just can't put it all on McNabb's shoulders. I mean, I know that, you know, he can do it and he's good and he can spread the ball around, but but somewhere they have to get some running going.
So Westbrook, they do anticipate he'll be back next week when they go home to face the Redskins, who are 3-1. Ton of time. McNabb then throws an interception right into the arms of the safety, Kevin Payne. Inside the 30, inside the 20, taken down at the 11-yard line by Buckhalter, who's hurt on the tackle.
I think that may be on Deshaun Jackson. McNabb was trying to go to him, and it looked like he kind of held up there. He was trying to get that post into him, and Kevin Payne was sitting there. Watch number 10 coming in here, right there in the middle. Then he starts to go back. I don't know. I would say after looking at it, that's McNabb. I mean, he's trying to get back to the corner, and he doesn't get turned around, but I would think that would have to be in the quarterback.
In a second, as Payne intercepts it, intended for Jackson. Now it's 1st and 10 Chicago at the Philly 11-yard line, and they give it to the rookie Forte, and he'll take the ball to the 8-yard line, and back we go to the pick.
Yeah, I think Deshaun Jackson gets pushed inside too much. You see, he gets way in here, and then he's late getting outside, and it looks like McNabb was waiting for him to run a post. You see, he's saying, you know, he thought you were going inside, and then he read it and got a corner. And I think he got there too late because he got pushed too far to the inside.
2nd and 7, the ball is at the 8-yard line. Early in the 3rd quarter. Bears with a golden chance to extend their lead. And Orton throws, and that's picked off in the end zone by Quentin Michael. Time slot on Friday. Ball now at the 20-yard line for the Philadelphia Eagles. And they have Lorenzo Booker now, their number 3 running back. He'll have his first carry of the night. They took Buckhalter back to the locker room. Buckhalter made the tackle after the interception. Took a knee to his back. We'll check on him, and of course Westbrook inactive tonight. So Booker, who they picked up from Miami, is in now. Here's the interception.
Watch right here. Stuart Bradley, the middle linebacker, does a good job of not letting Desmond Clark get to the inside. Kyle Orton is trying to anticipate him getting in the end zone, and he throws it to Quentin Michael. But Stuart Bradley, the middle linebacker for the Eagles, is the guy that made that play.
Booker with the Dolphins last year carried the ball a total of 28 times, was inactive in about half the games, and now the pass is dropped by Jackson. It's incomplete. 3rd and 6. Let's go to Andrea.
Well, Correll Buckhalter has a lower back contusion. He was walking very gingerly, almost limping, as they took him into the locker room to get x-rays.
So there is Westbrook. You've got Buckhalter back in the locker room, and you're down to your final running back, Booker.
Yeah, and you know that, you know, to get your offense going, you're going to have some mixture, and you have to get the run in there, but you don't have anyone to run it.
3rd and 6. Booker brings to the table the same things that Westbrook does, but of course he's not Westbrook. 3rd and 6. And that pass is incomplete. Tillman is there on the coverage, so is Payne. Double coverage intended for Jackson.
That guy, I'm not sure the 2 on his right.
I hear you. From the 3-yard line. This is Forte, so he loses 2. By the way, that Sav Rocca punt was 65 yards. Hester with -8 on the return, so that's 73 net, and that play just lost 2. And there is Rocca, so that's 75 yards. They have just pushed them back with a punt in this last run.
Omar Gaither makes a great play there. He gets penetration, plugs a hole, takes on the blocker, and makes the tackle.
2nd and 11. That pass is knocked down, and it looked like it was Omar Gaither of Gokon. Somebody might have been Gokon who got his hand on it. They have been putting pressure on all night. Bats it down here. 3rd and 11. The linebackers playing very well for Philadelphia. What else is new?
Well, they are, and they're very young. I mean, they're 2nd year, 3rd year, 2nd year. 2 3rd year and 1 2nd year.
All 24 years old.
And so, you know, if they get them playing well as a unit, I think they're going to have them for a long time.
3rd and 11. Ball at the 2. And buying some space, they give it to the fullback, Jason McKee. up to the 3-yard line. Crowd doesn't like it, but what you're really trying to do here is just give your punter a little
player, and as Andy Reid says, he's gonna be my explosive guy.
And something tells me his night is not done yet. 35-yard line. McNabb pump fake going deep down the right sideline and incomplete. That's Tillman with good coverage on the play, intended for Greg Lewis. 2nd down and 10.
And McNabb had to force that one because it is great coverage. And what's telling me here, it was a little kind of a stop and go, and he didn't, he hesitated for a second, and then he turned and he ran right with him. I mean, he was right there with Greg Lewis.
Second and 10.
Bears have their nickel in, 5 defensive backs, and they will blitz from this defense also.
Booker is there to protect McNabb. He can't make the block, but he does make the catch, and then he gets bombed by Lance Briggs. Booker wants to know what truck hit him. His first priority was to block. He couldn't get that done, and then he makes the catch, and then the next thing you know, dong.
See, Urlacher comes straight up the middle, so he has to get rid of the ball quickly. And again, you're trying to time a screen up. It was a little high, and he didn't have a chance because, as you said, Briggs comes up and dunks him.
Well, you have boom. I just invented the dunk.
Yeah. That was a real dunk.
3rd and 13. Underneath and getting away is Selleck, the tight end. And Selleck is out of bounds at the 31-yard line. And down on the play is Charles Tillman. Stanley's Kitchen and Tent, Lincoln Park section. Chicken wings and a lot more. 1st and 10 for Chicago. We'll get a report on Tillman in a second from the 38-yard line, and there's a sack, and the ball is loose, and it's picked up by the ever-present Gaither, and Gaither will get taken down after Trent Cole came around and caused the fumble. Philadelphia now will start from the 28-yard line. Corey Graham is in for Tillman right now at the corner, and this is Booker who slips but regains his balance. Taken to the 24. So again, a war of attrition tonight. Buckhalter is out. Lloyd is out for Chicago. Tillman is out for the moment. Tommy Harris, we know, is down. Westbrook inactive. Wild.
You know, and if you're Andy Reid or Marty Morningweg calling plays, you know very well that to calm down this defense, you have to have some run. You have to be able to run the ball, but you don't have any runners. And I don't know that you're going to make a living running the ball with Lorenzo Booker.
Come up in the gun again. McNabb under pressure, and then that pass is incomplete. That's Booker. Booker looking shaky in terms of pass blocking. Again, you know, the guy's new to the team and all of that. Doesn't take reps with the first unit, and now he's forced into a situation where if he's not going to run the ball, they need him to pass block.
Right, and I think that Booker is shaky in that area. I saw him last week. He didn't do real well in pass protection, and that's the thing. You know, when a guy doesn't have that, like I said, you attack pass protection, and you get him in an area that he has to do it, and then you bring the pressure to him.
3rd down and 7.
Eagles have 4 wide receivers in there
against 5 defensive backs. McNabb slings it, and that's going to be caught on the ground by Jason Avant. Went to the turf, hauled it in. Big 3rd down conversion, 1st and 10.
I said they had 4 wide receivers, 3 of them on this side. Jason Avant was the inside most. He's right here, and you just see he's right there. I mean, he just runs as they back off. He just runs and stops and hooks. But again, he just had 3 patterns on that side. He's just reading one side, the right side, where he has his 3 receivers.
From the 12. They just do get the play off. And the pass caught by Selleck. 5-yard line. Go to Andrea quickly.
Well, Charles Tillman has a shoulder injury. They're calling him questionable. They're still evaluating him. They're making him do a series of exercises and just had him push off one of his teammates to test his strength.
There he is on the sideline for the moment. Corey Graham takes his spot, second-year corner out of New Hampshire. McNabb will lead the Eagles up to the line of scrimmage on a 2nd and 4 from just outside the 5.
They were empty backfield last one. They had 4 wide receivers and 1 tight end, no back.
A little roll and a little shovel, and that's going to be close to a first down. The ball is loose, but after the whistle, that was Jason Avant coming inside and taking the little shovel.
Be aware of that. I'm not sure that he's going to try right here to get Basket in there.
There's Buckhalter. He's come back to the bench. Basket is in the slot to the right. McNabb rolling that way, throwing that way, and Basket was the intended receiver, but it's incomplete. Hunter Hillenmeyer and Nathan Vasher double coverage on 84.
You know, this is what's tough, again, not being able to run the ball, and the Bears have to know that too. I mean, if one team can't or doesn't run the ball, then that makes them one-dimensional. So all you have to do is defend the pass. So that would be pass rush, obviously, and pass coverage.
They put a fullback in now. Tony Hunt comes into the backfield, offset. Booker is the tailback.
He does have the possibility of some power run.
And McNabb falls down, and all he can do is cover up. I think he tripped over one of his linemen's feet or foot. Jamal Jackson and Todd Harriman's on the left side. And so McNabb goes down and just has to cover up, and it's going to be 3rd down and goal now.
You know, when you put those linebackers up in the gap right there by the center, you see right here, Urlacher here, that brings the guard down, and he has to come down quickly, or Urlacher is going to be right on McNabb. Usually, Andy Reid says when that happens and those guys get in those gaps and start giving them problems, he likes to go to shotgun. Here, he goes to empty.
And Buckhalter comes back in. Buckhalter in the slot to the left. And the pass is to the outside and incomplete. And is broken up, intended for Jason Avant. And broken up on the outside by Nathan Vasher, making it 4th down and goal and bringing in 8. The Chicago Bears throughout almost the history of the franchise. And, of course, with Jim Johnson running the defense in Philadelphia, that's what they've looked like over the last decade. Devin Hester to run the kickback. Down the sideline he goes. Devin Hester trying to stay in bounds and does. And David Akers is there for the tackle and loses his helmet. And add that to the hits package. I don't know whether it's a big hit, but when a kicker makes the tackle and loses his helmet, it gets into the package.
Well, Akers knows if he kicks the ball and he gives Hester a chance to return, he's going to do this. That's an interesting thing. It's a wedge return. If the ball is kicked outside the numbers, you slide the wedge to that side and bring it up that side. So it was kicked to their right. They slid the wedge right, and they brought the return up to the right.
51-yard return for Hester. Until then, Philadelphia's kick and punt coverage tonight have been great. Orton with about a 3-yard gain as he flips it out here to Greg Olson, the tight end, who caught a touchdown pass in the first quarter tonight. What kind of a night has it been for Orton? He's been sacked 3 times, hit 4 other times, knocked down 3, couple of batted balls, but along with that, 3 touchdown passes.
And a lot better than Ben Roethlisberger last week against this defense.
Yeah. No touchdowns for Pittsburgh. Forte down to about the 43-yard line.
You know, they talk about the defense and not finishing, you know, where the Bears had leads and then they lost those 2 games. And it's not always the defense. I mean, your offense has to help you too. I mean, this is a point here where the offense has to keep the defense off the field a little, get some first down.
Well, that's part of the reason they haven't been able to finish, because the offense hasn't been able to do that in the Tampa Bay and Carolina games.
Right, I mean, I think it's easy to say, you know, you had a 10-point lead and the defense blew it. That's not always true.
Well, the offense is going to put the defense back on the field again here as Juquay Parker comes in for another sack.
Parker's had a pretty good
last week in Indy and winning today in overtime. Buckhalter is in the game. Hunt is the fullback. They start from the 16. They give it to Corral, and he'll get taken down from behind. Israel Adonijah wrapped an arm around him and stops him for no gain.
You know, we talk about that finishing in the defense, you know, giving up leads and losing. You know, this defense has a lot of pride, and, you know, they've been thinking about that. They've been talking about that. They've been hearing about that, and I don't believe there's any way they're going to have a letdown tonight.
Charles Tillman has come back into the game. 2nd and 10. McNabb looking that way, and that's Jackson making the catch, and that's Tillman making the tackle along the sideline. And now Tillman will come out of the game again. So he was in there for a play, and now he'll retreat to the bench, and he throws his helmet down as well. So he's hurting. Graham will come back in, and it will be 3rd down and 3.
This is where the Eagles like to spread you out. 3 by 1, 3 on the left side, 1 receiver on the right side, 1 back in the backfield, shotgun, throw it quickly.
And that was Brown, the 1 receiver in the 3 by 1 to the right side. It's incomplete, and that's Graham taking the spot of Tillman, who busts up the.
But they get it from the linebackers, they get it from the safeties, they get it from the corners, and obviously they get it from the front 4 defensive linemen.
Kevin Jones is the running back now, and he fumbles, and it's going to be recovered by Philadelphia. So they give Forte a breather. They bring in Jones, and he fumbles, and Stuart Bradley recovers. Linebacker from Nebraska. That is 4 turnovers tonight for the Chicago Bears. 1st down, 31-yard line. Buckhalter is the back to the outside. And you know, John, Lovie Smith was talking about finishing the game in the second half. On the possessions tonight for Chicago in the second half, they've ended with punt, interception, punt, fumble, punt, fumble, no 1st downs.
Right, and that's the area that, you know, you can lay it on your defense, but doggone, you have to help them out. I mean, you have to get some 1st downs, even if you don't score. Just to let them get over there on the sideline, sit down, you know, get a drink or 2, and then, you know, get ready, get refreshed. And the Bear defense hasn't been able to do that.
2nd and 8. And they're going to give this to Jackson. And he's going to get a 1st down and step out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So Deshaun Jackson steps out. They'll wind the clock.
I'll tell you what, I cruise up and down that a lot, and I think it's the greatest avenue in the country.
It's beautiful. Start the 4th quarter from the 15-yard line, and Hillenmeyer comes in almost unblocked to get the sack on 1st down. Hunter Hillenmeyer from his right outside linebacker spot.
That's the thing here. We're talking about Jim Johnson going to do it. Here's the Bears. They get in this position. They're going to come under pressure, and they're going to try and knock the Eagles out of field goal position. So they get it. Here comes Hillenmeyer. As you said, he was free.
He's the back was going after Urlacher. Bryan was coming in from the same side. 2nd and 17. The 22-yard line, fake toss. And they give it to Buckhalter through the middle. He only gets back to the 20-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 15 now.
I'll tell you, it's tough when you run in the middle of that Bear defense. And Buckhalter just found that out. I mean, he took about 5 cracks in there.
Well, a good start. Lovey took over in 04. First 3 years, 26-1. They were able to close the deal, but over the past 2 seasons, 4 and 5, leading into the 4th. This year, 1 and 2.
I would think in this situation here that McNabb will go to the end zone. I think it would be, you know, some kind of favor. Cover 2 here, maybe that double post again.
4-man rush. Linebackers all drop into coverage. Pressure is put on. McNabb being chased, throws, and it's a short gain as Jason Avant makes the catch, and they're going to have to settle once again for a David Akers. Tell us he was thinking about going into the investment banking business when he was done. I said that's an obsolete business.
Right, but he's also taken French lessons and is interested in architecture.
Renaissance man. They're going to give it on a pass on an end around to Marty Booker, but he tucks it in. He looked downfield, didn't see anybody open, so he keeps it and takes it up to the 43-yard line. Marty Booker.
You know, you can call these plays like this a reverse pass. You can call them a momentum breaker, you know, where you're trying to, they have the momentum and you're trying to come up with a big play that gets you the momentum back. Or it could also be a give up type play. I have no idea what to do against this defense running wise. I'm going to try a reverse pass.
Booker has a couple of touchdown passes in his first stint with the Bears early in the decade. 2nd down and 7, 43. Pass is incomplete over the middle. May have been tipped. Desmond Clark, the intended receiver. Crowd getting frustrated. 3rd and 7.
Well, they are, because they know those stats you were just talking about. But I'll tell you, Matt Forte does a good job of chipping, and that's what you have to do. We said that they need help out here. Watch Forte right there. He brings Cole back to the inside. But St. Clair, when you have a chip on the outside, you have to stay inside because you have outside help. Forte did his job. St. Clair really didn't.
3rd down and 7. The ball is at the 43-yard line.
He was going to be in a shotgun and he went up to under center.
And he's going to hit Forte with a pass. And on the 3rd and 7, he was able to check it off out of the gun to under center and set up the pass to Forte on the quick drop and a 1st down off a 3rd and 7.
That was a heck of a check by Kyle Horton. I mean, he gets up there, he's under center. Well, first he was in his shotgun, then he goes under center. He realizes he's getting pressure from the right side, so he throws a screen to the left side.
First down for Chicago in this half. Hester in motion to the inside. They're going to give it to him in the end around. Hester, they're blocking. Chased by Brown. Gain of 15. 1st down. Followed Olin Kreutz to the outside.
Now, these are the types of things that you have to do when you can't get the running game going. You go to a screen pass to get you a 1st down. You run an end around. And again, when you have a guy like Hester, anytime you can get the ball in his hands, you know, there's a chance of a big play.
Clock frozen. You heard Coleman say 11:41 left, keeping the time on the field. Back-to-back 1st downs, ball at the 25-yard line. And Forte's going to get tripped up, and that's a nice play by Stuart Bradley, making sure he barely got out of the backfield.
But I like what the Bears are doing offensively here. They finally got something going. You know, they got the reverse. They got, you know, the screen pass, and they kind of got the Eagles back there not quite as aggressive. And then they can, you know, try and run the ball right at them. Although Stuart Bradley, the middle linebacker, again, makes a great play. I like the mixture. I mean, this is what the Bears needed right now. They needed life and some plays from their offense, and they're getting them.
2nd and 9. Fort hit as he throws, and that pass is incomplete. Marty Booker had come free, but Chris Gokheim forced the issue. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Yeah, Orton was looking for something out there to the left, and he didn't have it. So then I think he knew, you know, we talk about that clock in his head, and he just gets rid of it. So he's trying to throw it now, nothing, and then he just gets up there and just throws it away. Here's what he's looking at out there. Seeing that's at the point now. It looked after that Booker was open. Maybe that's why the people were booing. But when he started to throw it away, both of those guys on that side were covered.
3rd and 9. Here comes Samuel, and he gets bumped at the line of scrimmage on a corner blitz. And that's incomplete because Omar Gaither got in there again.
Well, the defenses and the blitzing of the defenses have really controlled this game.
Nathan Baxter has come back. He's in the game, bottom of the screen. McNabb is looking in that direction. Baxter went out to have his thumb checked out. Brent Selleck, the tight end, makes the catch up at the 30-yard line for a gain of 6, 2nd down and 4 now.
You know, we were talking about Deshaun Jackson, and before this is over, I think if the Eagles are going to win, he's going to have a big play here someplace, because Andy Reid had told us last night he's the guy that has the explosive plays in this game plan tonight. I'm not saying right here on this one, but in this series.
He's caught 5 for 71 yards and a touchdown. He's also rushed twice for 35 yards, and this time it's Buckhalter. And Buckhalter to the 48-yard line, and a little assist might go to Jackson for drawing the attention of the Bear defense as he went in motion on that play.
This is what Buckhalter does well, is just make one cut and run downhill. Good block by John Runyon. He gets on Brian Urlacher and doesn't let Urlacher get off him. But he just gets on him and just rides him. Buckhalter sees that going on and gets in behind Runyon.
From the 46-yard line now, McNabb, great protection, open man over the middle, and that's the fullback, Tony Hunt. Hunt comes out of the backfield to touch the ball for the first time tonight, tackled by the strong safety, Kevin Payne. First down at the 36.
You know, Donovan McNabb has been doing this all night. You see these two deep safeties here? That tells him it's cover 2. Now, anytime it's cover 2, he's going to go to the middle. I mean, he's going to try and hit something right between those hashes. He's done it all night.
Ran by Urlacher, then ran by Briggs. Ball at the 36-yard line. First down. Buckhalter again to the 30-yard line.
You know, here's what Donovan McNabb has been doing all night. When he sees the two safeties in the middle there, then that's when he's going to run the post to go the inside patterns. When he sees a single safety like that, that's when he's going to go to the outside receivers on out patterns. That's his read. He just reads those two safeties. There's one back there, he goes outside. There's two back there, he tries to hit him in the middle.
Now you've got two, but you've got Payne sneaking up. Now he goes back to give him more of a two-deep look. On second down and 5, and the pass is hauled in by Basket at the 21-yard line. So that's his first catch of the night. Talked about him earlier and how big he's been. He's had 3 big plays over 85 yards in the first 3 games, but tonight 0 until now.
Right, and you know, with McNabb throwing a slant, and you know that's the basis of this West Coast offense. All you have to do is get a half a step on your guy, and he'll put the ball on you.
21-yard line. First time, I think it's 3 games, 3 years for Basket of plays of 85 or more. This is Buckhalter taking it to the 13-yard line. So Buckhalter, who looked at one point as if he might be done for the night after making the tackle following the interception, they had to take him back to the locker room, all of a sudden is completely rejuvenated.
Right, and that's big for the Philadelphia offense, getting him back, because you know, we already said all night that they didn't have Westbrook, and when they didn't have Buckhalter, then they really didn't have a running game going. So everything went on McNabb, then the blitz game and the whole thing. Now with Buckhalter back, now they have a mixture of run and pass.
Second and 2, Buckhalter's carried 13 times now for 63 yards. McNabb with the drop, throws. That's going to be a first down and a first and goal as he hits Buckhalter to the 3-yard line. He makes his 3rd catch of the night.
Right between the linebackers, it's a zone pattern, and you can see Urlacher and Briggs there, and you can see Buckhalter just come right between the two. He just splits the two of them.
Number 68 is an eligible receiver.
That's Hunt who makes the catch. Hunt, the fullback, over the middle.
What they're trying to do is get Dusty Dvorak, their defensive tackle. They're trying to get him back there in cover.
Flecko's in the backfield at fullback. Buckhalter will carry the ball to the 1-yard line. The Eagles have not had the lead tonight. Chicago led 7-0, 14-7, 21-14, and 21-17, 21-20, and now 24-20. So almost 55 minutes into the game, the Eagles are trying to take the lead for the first time. Tony Hunt in the backfield. He gets it, and he's going to get stacked up at the 1-yard line, so he can't get in. The fullback gets pushed back by, among others, Kevin Payne and Vasher.
And you just kind of knew that if they were going to run the ball, they were going to run it to the right, because that's where they've been going, to this side, trying to get in there behind John Runyon. And again, he took it out a little wide on that one. This is where I think you need a pass. I think this has to be some kind of option pass run with McNabb.
3rd and goal. Instead, they give it to Buckhalter, and he's going to get stopped shy of the goal line. And now, Andy Reid, you know, it's 4th and goal.
And bootleg or just play action pass.
He turns, he gives it to Buckhalter. Does Buckhalter get in is the question. Chicago says no. The official comes in and says no. And Chicago will take over just outside the goal line.
The Bears have had enough of that. We can't finish. They're going to show that they can finish, and they really finished big on that 4th down play. I'm surprised again that he didn't let McNabb keep it. I'd either have him throw it or run it. I mean, he's your player, he's your playmaker, and he's the guy. They haven't had success doing this. The Bear defense just rose to the occasion, and they whipped the front of the Eagle.
And it's interesting how the right defensive end on a play that goes right through the middle where all the big bodies are going to clog it up, but it's Alex Brown who comes around and is able to stop him inches shy of the goal line. Now they need breathing space. Can they get it to get a little bit of it, 2 yards worth, as Forte takes it up to the 3-yard line. Take a look at 96, Brown, and it's Brown just getting his arm around Buckhalter that probably saves the last 3 inches and saves the touchdown.
Right, there he is, coming from the outside, not giving up, coming around, flattening down and getting in on that play.
2nd down and 8. Now Philadelphia has 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. One of the reasons you go for it, obviously, is because when you give it over to Chicago, if you don't make it as they did, they start deep in their own territory. What they'd love to do here, make it 3rd and long, take a timeout, and then force them to punt on 4th down. Orton, meanwhile, will look for a 1st down, won't get it, takes it to the 6-yard line. That's Desmond Clark making the catch, and Philadelphia will take a... There's a look at Urlacher. There are the numbers for Orton. 3rd down and 4. From the 7-yard line. Philly with 1 timeout left, and they would assumingly take it here if they can stop them, and they can't. Huge 1st down for Forte up to the 18-yard line.
And that's a play that Forte was talking about earlier, that when they get up there in the line and the Eagles are pressing that line, if you can get by that initial group, you can get a pretty good running play.
If the Eagles can hold them without a 1st down on this series, as Forte takes it up to the 19, they can hold them without a 1st down. They figure to get the ball back with about a minute and 10, somewhere between, let's say, a minute and 5 and a minute and 15 seconds to play if they hold them without a 1st down. Chicago will now let the clock run to the 2-minute warning, and it will be 2nd down and 8. And, of course, a 1st down by Chicago would end the game. So the Bears, John, trying to close after 2 weeks of coughing up 4th quarter leads.
Right, in that play there, we see the big run where Matt Forte got the 1st down right
here. Philly cannot stop the clock. This is Forte. He's going to take it up to the 23. So now we're 1:55. They'll snap it with about 1:15, and then they can take it under a minute again. But at least they'll force them to punt, and that means Jackson could wind up with the ball in his hands. 3rd and 4. And this time they're going to give it to Forte, and he's going to get stopped at the 20-yard line. So now play clock again goes to 40 as soon as that play stops.
With no timeouts left, then they have to run up to the line if they complete a pass and spike the ball. And that's what they're giving them. They're giving them these double safeties back there.
We've got a 2 double deep here. The safeties are back at the Chicago 40-yard line. McNabb escapes pressure, throws, trying to get out of bounds, and not able to get out of bounds is Brown. The clock keeps going. McNabb is going to try to get up and at least spike it. I don't think they can get set in time, and they can't. The game is over. Good game. A lot of excitement, a lot of crazy stuff. Very hard hitting. Millions of opportunities squandered, taken advantage of.
Great
Good
goal
game.
line stand from
Tremendous.
a defense that had been under a lot of scrutiny the last 2 weeks. Here again, this is a beautiful picture. That fourth down play, every defensive Chicago Bear is right there on top of it.
24-20 Chicago, the postgame report. Sponsored by Wendy's, coming right up.